This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Wave your hands from side to side and say, I believe in Joe Henry.
Barf.
Say his name and he appears. Yeah, that's right. You got to say it. Welcome in. Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. You're watching another episode of Between the Ropes. I have all my co-hosts with me for the evening. The first one that I have is Mr. Crispy Bacon. Crispy, how are you doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing good. I believe in Joe Hendry.
He believes in Joe Hendry. That's absolutely. And then, of course, we have that man that we call Mr. Big B. Big B, how are you doing tonight, my man?
No, doing good. Finally get to talk about some wrestling. Last 48 hours has not been good in the news, so let's talk about some happy stuff. Viper getting slapped by Brock Lesnar would be nice.
I bet you'd enjoy that.
Talk about Joe Henry, how we believe. Just think if he was in the bloodline, we believe in the new tribal chief. I mean, come on now, that would just be great marketing.
And then, of course, we have that man that doesn't really know what he likes. Nobody really knows what he likes. I guess if you put Hornswoggle in a tutu, he'd probably like it, but that's probably...
Or Riddle.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't really know what he likes. But, Mr. Dragon Viper, how are you doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing okay. I'm exhausted, but doing good. And, people know what I like if they'd pay attention. But, Big B never does, so...
Well, I can count on one hand how many people you actually like.
No, we've already established about 8, 9 people, or at least Big B has.
Yeah, I'm saying, can you imagine in the world where Dragon Viper would be running creative, like every single week, the same 9 guys would be having matches every week?
No. You're getting it wrong. Even the people that I don't like would have matches, but they'd lose. They would never be champions.
Yeah, they would just lose. So the same 9 guys. So the same 9 guys would win every week, and then the same 9 guys would be champions.
He would have. I mean, Randy Orton would have. He'd be a 7-time Triple Crown champion because he would hold all the belts.
Right.
Matt Riddle would probably be the Divas champion.
No. He wouldn't
like some of his favorite guys would be like 24-time WWE champions, and then another one would be like a 20-time WWE champion, and everyone would be like, "What the heck is this crap?"
Well, see, I have a cat now, and I named him Randy Orton. So
you did what?
I actually got 2 cats. One of them I named Randy Orton. The other one is Nia Jax.
You might as well just named one Randy, the other one Orton. I mean, come on now.
Right? Randy and Orton.
Where's the fun in that, though?
Does he have a championship belt?
Oh yeah. All right. Anyway, jumping into this, the first thing that I want to talk about, because I was mentioning this to Crispy a little bit before we jumped on. We know that Roman is supposed to be coming back soon because we're supposed to get the original Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. I think the direction that they're going with that is fantastic. My thought, because I was going to tell Crispy that, I'm like, nah, I'll save it. And so I kind of want to get everybody's thoughts on kind of how you would book it. But my thought is with Roman's return, the way that I thought that I might book it would be you wait until SummerSlam, and you have how you have like Solo versus Cody at SummerSlam. You have where the Bloodline is taking out Cody. You have Solo that's going to do the Samoan spike on Cody, hits it, but the referee's down at this point. Roman's music hits. He comes out. He takes out the Bloodline. He spears Solo, and then he takes Cody and actually pulls him on top of Solo. They get the 3 count, so Cody retains. And then the following Friday, when the Bloodline is there, Solo and the new Bloodline call out Roman, and then Roman comes out, and Solo's like, well, it doesn't matter that you're back because you're outnumbered. And that's when Roman's like, I didn't come alone. And that's when Jay and Jimmy come out, and then you start the feud between the new Bloodline and the original Bloodline. So I'm just saying that's my thoughts. That's how I would book it. But I know everybody has probably their own opinion on that. So Big B, if you were to book Roman's return, would you do it along that lines, or would you do it just a little bit differently?
Oh God, I think you're on the right track. I think I would, have a masked or hooded guy come out of the stands at SummerSlam, like you said, and take everybody out, pull Cody on top of them to win, not reveal who it is, so everybody's speculating on it. Is it Jay or Jimmy, or is it Roman? And then kind of build it that way, as the new Bloodline is like, we know who you are. It's Roman or it's Jimmy. And then reveal it that way. As the 4th member, I don't think they would use Sammy. I really hope they don't. I'd like to see them add Brock back into the picture and do a War Games with Brock to revenge Paul Heyman's beating, I think.
No, and I agree with that. That's why we were talking about this, and we're like, who indeed would be kind of that 4th member of the Bloodline. And so, and I know people were talking about Sammy, but I'm like, well, it doesn't technically have to be Sammy.
No.
Like,
I have another name in mind.
Yeah, and the reason I'm thinking that though is because you saw that the Bloodline, the new Bloodline took out Paul Heyman.
Yep.
And so that leaves you with options.
Yep.
That basically says, if CM Punk doesn't have anything going on, CM Punk was a Heyman guy.
I don't think he can use Punk. I think he's too tied up right now with Drew and that stuff.
Not right now.
I think it's Brock. I think if you don't use Sammy, you got to use Brock, because Brock had his feud with the Bloodline and stuff, and and then he would side with the new. The question is how are they going to bring back The Rock? What side is he going to be on? Is he going to be the one pulling the strings behind the scenes? I mean,
He's going to be on Solo side.
Yeah, which in reality he would have to be, and the reason he would have to be is because if you're setting up for Rock versus Roman at Mania, The Rock has to be on Solo's side because it wouldn't make sense for the Rock to be on Roman's side and have Rock versus Roman at Mania. So Rock.
Go ahead.
So I'm saying the Rock could be the one that's revealed later on to where Solo goes, well, yeah, I was as the tribal chief because there was somebody who was pulling the strings behind me and telling me to come out and do this, and that man is this guy, and that's when the Rock appears and tells Roman, you're calling yourself the tribal chief, but I'm actually the tribal chief. I'm the head of the table. And so I think that's kind of so. When you talk about like the members and everything and setting up that match, I think that's how you could do it.
So the one thing I'm kind of worried about, because it always seems to, if you guys watch wrestling, a lot of storylines get used over and over again. And the one thing I'm worried about is, okay, we had the NWO split up red and black, and then white and black. And then Hogan and Nash had a match, the finger pointing of doom, and then they merged together. That is one thing I'm worried about, that WWE is going to do that little swerve on us, and the two bloodlines is going to be one major stable.
Didn't they do that with the corporate ministry and all that?
They did.
Kind of,
But I see where you're going from, but I don't think they're going to do that with this. And the reason
I hope not. I hope that's like last on the line. That would be something Randy would book.
I don't think they are, and the reason why is because right now they're really building up. They really, really want The Rock versus Roman at Mania.
Oh yeah,
they really, really want that because they know that is a 100% money draw. Like people are wanting to see that. So because of The Rock versus Roman at Mania, I don't think that they will combine them because right now they're building that story to be like, yeah, this is the story. You have the original versus the new. So because of that, I don't think that they would end up doing that NWO wise. I don't think that they would.
hope not.
I don't think they would. But Randy's been pretty quiet with this.
That's good.
So Viper, if you were to book, the return of Roman and try and set everything up, how would you book Roman's return?
How would I do Roman's return?
Yes.
Yee. I mean, I seriously think he would get involved in Solo and Cody's matchup and for the title, and he would cost Solo the belt. And because I see it as Roman saying pretty much that if Roman can't have it, Solo can't have it, and then that'll start something right there, and then the Uso, Solo will have his guys come down, and the Usos will come down, but I think it's going to happen at when it's Cody versus Solo, and I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I agree with you, but here's the thing too. So I don't think like right off the bat that you're going to have Roman, Jimmy, and Jay. So
no, as time progresses.
Yeah, no. I think what's going to happen is, honestly, you might get Roman and Jimmy, that first, like the first SmackDown, and then Roman's like, hey, Jimmy, I need you to go get your brother. I need you to go talk to Jay, and I need you to get him back on board. And so then they get Jimmy back, or then they get Jay back on board. So then you have Roman and you have Jimmy and then you have Jay. Now it's figuring out, who's that final piece to the puzzle. And yes, Big B, I do agree with you on the Brock thing. I was just simply stating that if you're going to do that, you could use just a Heyman guy in general.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Because of them destroying Heyman, that you could just use a Heyman guy.
Oh,
right?
you got to use a Heyman guy.
You have to. So Dragon Viper, who do you think is that? The original bloodline. Who do you think is going to be that person that's going to join them?
Like join the bloodline
The
now
new
with Solo,
bloodline.
or
No, joining Roman, Jay,
Oh.
and Jim, because there's going to be another person.
yeah, the fourth guy.
That would make
I-
4. Yep.
I think the fourth member. I really hate saying this. I really do, but I can't see CM Punk doing it. I can't see Big Show. Well, Big Show's not there. I'd have to go along with
Rhino.
Lesnar. Rhino. Well, no, but I'd have to go with Lesnar. And I can't stand the guy, but that's the only person I could think of that would avenge Paul Heyman. And because I did hear a rumor that they are trying to bring him back so he can avenge Paul Heyman. So that'd be a good shot right there.
Potentially Sammy and I know Big B, you're saying Sammy no, but I'm saying like I could kind of see that too though, because he was part of the original.
If they go full original, then yeah, you go with Sammy. But if you go with, because what I think is how I would book the fourth reveal is Roman and Jimmy together. They try to talk to Jay and get him back in the picture, and he just is like, nope, I'm doing my own thing right now and stuff like that. Brock becomes the third guy, and then like a Survivor Series for War Games, then the fourth guy is revealed as Jay comes out as the fourth.
Okay. I can see that. Crispy, would you kind of book it the same way or
Similar? I think you would have Roman come out between Cody and Solo, but I could see Solo, going in for the spear on Cody. Roman pulls Cody off the ring, kind of covered up. Cody's like, "Who just saved me?" And it's Roman. You can have it that way, and then you can have Roman versus Solo at Bad Blood, because that would be their. Yeah, I think that's their next pay-per-view after.
Well, yeah, but they're setting up for Survivor Series. They're setting up for War Games. That's what they're setting up for.
Right. But you can have individual matches in between.
You could.
And I'm thinking that it's going to be CM Punk joining, because a couple episodes back, or shows back, Paul Heyman and Punk were having a promo, and he's like, Paul's like, I need a favor.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, take me with you. So
he did, yeah.
That's why I'm thinking it's going to be Punk. Even though Punk's going to have a three-way match at Bad Blood or whatever.
Yeah, but they may not actually reveal that fourth guy too until like the week before Survivor Series. So they could wait.
Or show up. Or during the match. They've done that before with Kevin Owens.
It very well could be.
I think they reveal it as a last entry into the Survivor Series match.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was thinking they aren't saying anything, or they wouldn't say anything until Survivor Series that night.
Well, yeah. Well, because it kind of could happen to where it could be to where Roman, Jay, and Jimmy were like, "Hey, we've looked everywhere, and we can't find a partner anywhere, and we're trying to find that final guy." And then all of a sudden, it's like it's supposed to be the last entrant, and then somebody's music hits, and then they come out, and it's like, oh, they found that partner now.
Kind of like what they did for Survivor Series last year.
Yeah, Well, but they knew Randy was coming though.
Yeah, but I mean,
Everybody knew that.
similar circumstances.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but everybody knew that Randy was coming though, because it had already been said. Oh yeah, Randy's coming. He's already
Or they're
accepted.
like, there's a legacy. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, so they all knew it was coming anyway. So I think we're all looking forward to see how it pans out. Let's transition over a little bit because we could talk on that angle for a very, very long time. But let's transition over a little bit. Let's talk about the Wyatt Six, and and there's been a lot of speculation currently about who could be indeed that sixth member of the Wyatt Six. Because people are talking about could it be Alexa, could it be somebody else, or could that sixth person just indeed be the spirit of Bray Wyatt? And so there's been many talks about that. I know they had talked about, if Alexa comes back, she would be Sister Abigail.
But technically, that's Nikki right now.
But technically, right now, that's Nikki Cross. So if there's two people, or two females, anyways, that are supposed to be in the Wyatt Six, you can make it work. But if you're only supposed to have one, then you'd have to find a way to make it work anyway. So that's kind of where it's like up in the air, saying who is it going to be? Is it going to be Bliss? Is it going to be the spirit of Wyatt? Or is it going to be completely somebody out there in left field? So,
Gable.
So when you look at the Wyatt Six, do you indeed feel like it is going to end up being like the spirit of Bray Wyatt, or do you think it is indeed going to be Alexa Bliss?
I think it's a spirit. I think that Alexa wanted to be part of the group, but since Bray's not there, and I know that she knows Bo and all that, but I don't think maybe she's ready right now. And maybe they're just going with the spirit of Bray Wyatt.
Okay. Big B, what you got on that one?
I think they gotta do just spirit of Bray. I think that's what they should run with. Maybe kind of do some mind games to kind of make it feel like it is the spirit of Bray Wyatt. To some of their storyline. Alexa, I think, would be a better fit if Nikki Cross wasn't in there. But yeah, I would book it with them doing the spirit of Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
That's kind of what it's sounding like.
And Dragon Viper?
Well, I actually see it a little both. I see it as the spirit of Bray Wyatt, and then until Alexa is ready to come back, and then I see her being the other member. I mean, Nikki Cross being in it, yeah, that's fine, and they'll end up most likely keeping her in it. But if I remember correctly, there was two women that were the characters. I'm kind of spacey right now, but no, Nikki Cross would stay, but they would have the spirit of Bray Wyatt, and then all of a sudden, it'll kill time till Alexa Bliss can finally come back, and then she'll be that sixth member.
What was the puppet's name in the Funhouse?
You got Ramblin' Rabbit.
Yeah. Huskus.
What was the woman's name?
It's Ramblin' Rabbit. Huskus the pig.
Yeah.
You have the Buzzard. Sister Abigail.
Oh, she did go by Sister Abigail. Okay.
Wyatt himself, and then there was one more.
No.
Well, there was the Vince McMahon puppet.
Let me look.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but there was also a
Wait.
John Cena puppet too. So
Wait, wasn't it the bunny?
yeah, it's the bunny.
It's
That's
the
Rambling
bunny.
Rabbit.
Is
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rambling Rabbit.
yeah, it's Rambling Rabbit.
Which is Eric
Yeah.
Rowan.
Yeah, Huskus the pig, which is Joe Gacy. Then you have
The Buzzard.
the Buzzard, which is Dexter Loomis. Then you have Taylor, which is Wyatt, and then you have, I believe, right now Nikki Cross's sister Abigail, unless she's going by somebody else.
Okay.
But I thought,
Well, if she's going by somebody else, and that leaves Alexa Bliss coming in as
Yeah,
Sister
but-
Abigail.
Or she could come in as her doll. Remember she had?
Oh, yeah, the doll.
I can't remember her name. But
What the heck was that doll's name? I know what you're thinking about, Chris.
yeah,
she could come back as that. Because right now all the characters are filled.
yeah.
So, well, yeah, it's Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy, Joe Gacy, and then Dexter Loomis as Mercy the Buzzard,
Yep.
Nikki Cross's sister Abigail, the Rambling Rabbit as Rowan, and then it just says Bray. And currently, if you look it up, it says Bray Wyatt as the sixth character. That's currently what it says.
And the doll's name was Lily.
Lily,
Yeah.
yes.
So right now, if you look it up, it doesn't actually tell you the name of the sixth. It just says Bray Wyatt as the sixth.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like, okay, that's kind of where the confusion lies. Like, who's going to be that actual six? So it could be Wyatt. But the one thing that I do want to say though about that is, at what point in time do people give Bo Dallas credit? And the reason I'm saying that is because I don't think anybody knew that Bo Dallas was as talented as he's showing here.
He shows a lot of traits of Bray.
He does.
Yep.
He does. He does. But I feel like people aren't giving him enough credit.
I agree with that. They need to give him more.
And what are they trying to do with Gable? I mean, that's where
Well-
I'm kind of lost at right now.
Well, right now the Wyatt Six or whatever are trying to target people that are
That have
That
broken
lost
up
their
the family. Yes. I think that's what they're doing, is they want to go after people that have broken up their families.
Okay.
which,
So that's why
Which-
it starts with Gable, and then after
Mhm.
Gable, they'll move on to somebody else. Who else broke up
Jay.
their family? Yeah, and then they'll go on to somebody else after that.
Okay. All right. That kind of makes sense. So
Yeah.
Dragon Viper, be ready. They're coming.
Yeah.
they're like the other way around with the Shield. They want a different kind of justice. Is what
Okay.
I interpret it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's yeah. It'll be cool to see, though. It'll be cool to see.
And they could come after Seth too at some point. He turned his back on the Shield. Speaking of that,
He did. He did.
and
He
I'm
did.
not saying it's right away, but at some point it will be.
Yeah. It's just going to be cool to see how far they actually take it. From what I heard this week too, is that supposedly on Raw you're going to start hearing from the other members of the Wyatt Six.
I
So,
hope
so you're
Oh,
going to
I can't wait.
Yeah, so you're supposed to see them Unmasked. Like I guess this week, Nikki Cross is supposed to bring out another VHS, but this
Okay.
time it's going to be featuring a different person. And this week, I guess it's supposed to be Rowan. I guess.
No,
And
they're
I
gonna.
heard-
If they do that, they're gonna save Rowan until they're here on the 29th.
You think so?
and
Yeah,
and
if they're gonna reveal, they got to reveal him in Minnesota here.
and I heard that his mask kind of honors Brody.
Yeah, it did because he had that special mask that Brody wore in AEW, I guess, and I guess he put that on his mask too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the hammer, was part of the Bludgeon Brothers and everything.
Yeah.
But I've been I for
I like-
one, I don't know if everybody else has agreed with me, but as of late, the storytelling for like WWE, especially since Triple H has been there, has been really good.
It's
The-
been consistent.
Eh.
Of course, Dragon Viper is going to disagree.
Well, no, I do give Triple H a lot of credit. I give him a lot, but I'd say his the whole him running it and doing what he needs to do and everything else and the creative part of it, and I give him a 98 because there's a lot of there's a few things I disagreed with, whether if it was match or somebody getting the title when they shouldn't have.
Who was better in your opinion, Vince or Triple H?
There's going to be that no matter what. It
Who's-
doesn't
I'm just
matter.
saying-
Wait a minute. Who's got
I'm
the
just
title
saying-
that hasn't deserved it?
I give
Nah.
Triple H 98%. What'd you say, B?
Who's got the title that hasn't deserved it?
Let's see. Sami Zayn.
What?
I don't think he deserves the Intercontinental title. He deserves the tag title, but he doesn't deserve the Intercontinental belt. Braun Breaker didn't win the Intercontinental title, so I was upset with that. He deserves it. And then let's see who else. And then off the top of my head, Drew McIntyre.
That's a big head to get on top of.
What?
That's a big head to get on top of.
Oh.
And the thing is this. The thing is this, though, is that you have to say 98%. Everybody would have to knock a percentage off. And why? Because nobody's perfect at what they do. Nobody
Well,
is.
there you go.
No, but he's a lot better than.
Well, I don't. I mean,
I'm glad you agree.
Come on.
it's tough because I actually think it's actually going pretty good with everything.
No,
You know.
I agree. Everything is going good. But
Because of people.
whenever you look at any promotion, even though things are going great, there's always something you could do. There's always
I mean, honestly, I hate to agree with Viper, but I do think Breaker should have won the IC title against Sami Zayn. I think Sami deserved the run. I think he deserved to beat Gunther, and that storyline with him and Gable worked out pretty good. And so I think everything that he's done so far has been, top notch. There's nothing I can really complain about.
No, yeah, and that's the thing. Like the storytelling and everything that he's been putting forth with WWE has been freaking excellent. It has been excellent. Now, Crispy, going back to what you were saying, because people were posting about this on Facebook too, and they were talking about how, do you go Vince McMahon or do you go Triple H with booking and everything? But here's the thing. You can't really do that. And the
No, you can't.
reason why you can't compare them is because Vince McMahon was booking for a very, very long time. And there was a very, very long time that Vince McMahon was a really, really good booker, and he did a lot of great stuff. You look at the Attitude Era, it was great. You look at the 90s, it was great stuff. There was even stuff that, look, I know there was a lot of rough stuff between after the Attitude Era up until Triple H took over. There was a lot of rough stuff, but there was some good also.
But the thing is we would have to go through from when Vince really took over control, because there was a lot of times that he had other people writing the storylines, and he had final say, but he didn't really have, he wasn't really in the, okay, I want to put this guy over, how can we do it? He just had people. I mean, heck, Freddie Prinze Jr. was writing them for what, 5 years, so I mean, we would have to go through and really like comb what Vince did and what Vince didn't do, with booking and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's
I feel like Triple H has a little bit of a like he's ahead because, and this is partly because of Shawn Michaels is the partnership with TNA.
Well, not necessarily. Not only that, but if you look at like number one, Triple H hasn't been booking for a long time, so he's still a little green with that. So he's still, but
again, that goes to the fine tone, trying to gather all the information, because I mean, some of those wrestlers, when they got up there, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, I mean, they started booking while they're still ending their career too. So
yeah, but to go along with that though too is like the big difference between Vince and Triple H is simple. Like Vince was always a guy that was like, well, you know what, I'll listen to certain things, but I'm probably not gonna do it because I kind of want the final say. And I get that Triple H gets the final say, but if you listen to interviews with Triple H, he's like, hey, I'm always going to like the wrestlers for input and saying, well, what do you want to do? Do you have any ideas? If you have ideas, you come and you tell me. So I think that's kind of a big difference, is Triple H is willing to kind of listen to everybody and say, well, what do you want to do? If there's something you want to do, you come and tell me. And if I think it's a good idea, we're going to do it. And so it's, so I think that's where a lot of that change has been. So, Crispy, just going back, that was the only reason I was saying that, is because
I know.
It's really hard for you to compare and say which one's better. It's just so hard. That was where I was going with that one anyway. But yeah, all right, I guess moving on here, unless Dragon Viper, unless you had anything on the matter that you wanted to mention
about that whole Vince Triple H comparison.
Yeah, the Vince and Triple H thing that we were talking about.
Yeah, I the only thing I have to say, I mean, I agree. They both have their own ways of doing things. Vince did very well at the beginning, especially with the '90s and the Attitude Era. I mean, it's just pretty much what you said. They have their own separate ways of bookings and everything they do for these wrestlers. Unfortunately, towards the end there, I guess if people didn't want to work for him anymore because of the way he was doing things and making it so much harder to work with. And Triple H seems to be easier to work with. So, I mean, different ways of doing things, but, they both had a very good creative mind on how they wanted the product and the company to go.
100%, and that's kind of what we're talking about. Everybody has their own style. Even you look at like Tony Khan, and he has his own style. and things like that. But there was something neat, and we usually do it on kicking it, but I kind of wanted to bring something to between the ropes because we never really do this here. But I wanted to do this since we talk about, ranking different wrestlers sometimes and things like this. I wanted to bring up this name of this man that we call Ryback, that some people call Cryback. He did his own ranking of wrestlers.
Uh-oh.
He did his own blind ranking, and so I wanted to, immediately come up and say, okay, let's check out his blind ranking, and you guys give me your opinion on how you think his blind ranking was.
Oh,
Yep.
The big guy Ryback here, and this is my WWE top 10 blind ranking. And I know you're asking, big guy, are you on this? I'm not. WWE is not allowed to use my name or likeness since I am the rightful owner of the Ryback trademark. But when I am back eventually, I know I will be a lot of people's number one pick. Without further ado, let's get going. Undertaker. Ooh, this is a tough one. 7.
what?
Rey Mysterio.
What?
Triple H. 9. Let's see.
Are you kidding me?
Randy, we're going to go 4.
What?
Hulk Hogan. We're going number 2 with the Hulkster brother.
What the? No.
Gunther.
3.
6.
Uh,
Cena, we'll go 3-ish.
wow.
Oh, that's fucking 10.
Oh,
Kofi, number 5.
what?
Well, shit. There's that. That's the last
Wow.
bite. Feed me more.
Wow.
Okay.
What? Oh my God. What?
So you saw Ryback's blind ranking.
Wow.
So
I got, wow.
I think it. I think.
I mean, the only one that he got right really was Mark Henry at 10.
Right. I think it threw everybody off immediately.
Yeah.
Like right away when he immediately went Undertaker and put Undertaker at 7 was when it was like, you just did what?
Yeah, that's 6 spots too low.
I would have thought 1, 2, or 3, or
So
maybe top 5.
so Big B, basically what you're saying, like his whole thing was completely wrong. Except for
Well, I mean, okay, Hogan at number 2. I'll give that because I mean, Taker should have been 1 or 2. Hogan should have been the other one out of those 10. He had Hardy. Hardy done a lot. So I'd probably put him in the top 5. Cena's up there, probably number 3. Rey Mysterio did a lot, so I probably got 6.
don't forget
Orton.
about Randy Orton.
Orton's at 4, so I think he had Orton at 4, so that was probably right for Orton. Henry at 10. Who else was on there? I'm missing 2 people?
There was Triple H.
Oh, Triple H. Ooh, maybe. Oh God, Triple H is probably 4.
And Kofi.
Triple H at 4. Orton at 6. Hardy 7. Ray, and then Kofi, and then Mark Henry.
Yeah, so I could agree with the Mark Henry thing that Mark Henry would be about 10th on that.
Out of those 10, yes.
Yes. Out of those 10, yes, he would be at 10. It would be hard not to put out of that list. It would be hard not to put the Undertaker at number 1. Honestly, it would be hard not to.
Not when. I mean, when he's the first pick, he's in the top 5. I mean,
absolutely. It sounded like Dragon Viper might have been writing a list there, maybe.
can he write?
I don't know.
Oh, very funny, very funny. I had my own list, and I did disagree with a lot of what he said, and
He didn't say much.
I mean, you have to have Mark Henry at number 1. No, just kidding.
You would.
No, I mean, you have to have, it's like what you said, Big B. You have to have Taker at 1 or 2 or even the 3rd spot. I'd put, of course, everybody knows this. I'd put Orton first.
Well, that's wrong.
I'd put The Undertaker second. I'd put Triple H third. And that's just my top 3. So, I think his was completely wrong. Even Mark Henry would be number 9.
What? Really? Who would
Yeah.
you put on that list under Mark Henry?
Who would be number 10?
Yeah, on that list under Mark Henry. Who the heck you putting under Mark Henry on that list?
Gunther.
Yes, Gunther.
What?
Oh, I forgot
Yes.
Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther's on there too.
I would put Gunther at number 10.
Wow.
That's crazy, dude. That is freaking crazy.
Well, we all know I'm crazy, but that's what I do.
That is blasphemy right there, dude.
Blasphemy.
Wow.
Wow. I have heard it all now.
Well, I did tell you that I still think he's a really good, Ryback's a really good wrestler. So, I mean, you haven't heard everything from me yet.
Yeah, this dude is the one who told me that Ryback was a good wrestler, and I'm like, that's freaking nuts. That is crazy.
Anyway, that's my opinion and what my list would be.
Well, once you put Gunther at number 10, your list became completely
Well,
invalid.
Gunther at 10 or Orton at 1. I mean,
It became invalid. I mean, even not having Hogan. Look, I understand that a lot of people might not agree with some of the comments that Hogan has made, but what he's done for the business was freaking crazy.
exactly. I mean, you do that blind list. I mean, okay, yeah, it's blind, so you don't know who you're going to get. But you had Taker 1. I mean,
Right?
that's either 1 or 2. I mean, and then you get Hogan. I mean, Hogan and Taker on the WWF side, or E, however you want to look at it, did a lot for keeping that business around. And then it brought in Triple H, it brought in Cena, brought in Orton. So I mean, to me, out of those 10, Hogan and Taker 1, 2.
Well, you're really gonna hate me because I was gonna put Hogan at 8.
Yeah,
He's
you're
overrated.
a moron.
Yeah, that's freaking nuts, dude. That is freaking nuts. Now what you're talking about is if you're talking about overall in-ring talent, yeah, maybe Hogan didn't have the best in-ring talent, but his character, his charisma, and all that stuff was top-notch. His promos, top-notch.
What? And that's the whole thing.
Overrated.
Back when Hogan was the focal point, it wasn't about the moves; it was about selling.
Yeah, it was about back then. It was about charisma, promos.
So yeah, you go ring ability. Yeah, Hogan's probably 7th, 8th on that list. I mean,
yeah,
Henry's still 10th. I mean,
but nowadays, people are more concerned about trying to get in all their moves and trying to connect with fans and connect with other people. Now it's more about what's your in-ring ability, when it doesn't really need to be that. But that's why a lot of times when people go, oh, this guy, he can't this certain guy may not be able to wrestle, or I don't like this guy because he's heel. Okay, good. You don't like him because he's heel. That means he's doing his freaking job.
Yeah.
If you don't like him because he's heel, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yep.
You're supposed to not like him because he's heel. Oh, you like him because he's face? Perfect. You're supposed to, because he's face. He's doing his job. That's
Like
all.
watching a movie. Good guys,
Yeah,
bad guys.
that's all part of connecting with fans. I mean, heck, when the Titanic came out on film, everybody knew that the Titanic already sank. But there was
What?
people,
It did?
but there was people in the theaters cheering for Titanic not to sink. Like it's crazy.
Oh, you just blew that movie for me.
Right? Okay, anyway. Crispy,
Yeah,
what was your thoughts on the list?
I know it was blind, but I don't agree with the list. I mean, you can go Hogan, Undertaker. I'd go Randy Orton. I need to go Randy Orton and Cena, Randy Orton.
Um,
I'm trying to think. I would go with those four, at least.
You're good. You're good. It's hard to remember all 10, but
But I would at least go with those four, and then maybe
But-
Mark Henry 5.
I just showed you those anyways.
What? You said Mark Henry 5?
Dude, and I thought Dragon Viper was crazy
I don't
to
know.
have him at
Well,
9.
they are Cowboy fans. So,
He is from Texas, you know.
But
Salisbury, Texas, boy, done proud.
no.
It's that Texas thing. Yeah. Anyway, but that was the only reason I showed you that, is because when I came across that video and I watched it, like right off the bat when he said Taker 7, I'm like, oh, the video's lost credibility already. So, yeah.
or
So
some that it lost credibility because it was right back. Who knows?
yeah,
I was waiting for him to come up with Goldberg.
Goldberg. Goldberg for me on a list of 10 would be 20.
Only because you fear him.
I could care less about that son of a bitch. Okay. If you would have heard the story that William Regal was talking about when
I
Regal
heard
was,
that.
yeah, when Regal was in WCW and they go up to Regal and they go, hey, we have to put you in a match with Goldberg, and it has to be a 6-minute match. And Regal's like, a 6-minute match? He's like, well, I guess if you want a 6-minute match, we're gonna make it go 6 minutes. And he's like, I'm in the ring with this dude, and this dude has no idea what the hell he's doing. He's like, he's tripping over himself. He's trying to do moves that he doesn't know what the heck he's doing. He's like, we made it go 6 minutes. It was terrible, but it went 6 minutes because this guy has no idea what the heck he's doing in the ring. There's so many guys that will tell you Goldberg is not good. He's just not good. And it's always been like that.
Hey, Tim Hendricks said Ryback blocked him on X.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, he's blocked a lot of people on X. But anyways, we're almost at that time now to where we're almost an hour into.
Tim, did you see? If Tim's still here, did you see what we just showed? The video of Ryback's top 10 blind ranking. If you have it, Ace ought to show you that comment or that video because he had Undertaker at 7 and Taker was the first pick.
If Tim has not seen it, I do have time to pull it back up and play it again. So, Tim, let me know if you saw the video or not. And if you have not, I will replay it.
So,
Let me know before we do our final thoughts if you saw that video.
So do you think Tiffany Stratton will cash in her Money in the Bank?
All right.
Okay, you
Probably
didn't.
not right now. Tim Hendricks said he didn't. She might if Nia Jax wins. She might just to spite Nia.
Yeah.
Possibly.
All right. Let me pull it up because he said he has not.
So, no, I actually, coming from Money in the Bank, I missed the last few shows, but I'm glad she won. Brings home, the Money in the Bank here to Minnesota. So it'll be interesting to see how they book her when they are here and what we get to see. So,
All right. I almost have it here. Let me bring it up here. Let me get the share button here. I'll bring it up for him. Tim, if you're ready, I will bring it up for you.
WWE Top 10 Blind Ranking. And I know you're asking, big guy, are you on this? I'm not. WWE is not allowed to use my name or likeness since I am the rightful owner of the Ryback trademark. But when I am back eventually, I know I will be a lot of people's number one pick. Without further ado, let's get going. Undertaker. Ooh, this is a tough one. 7. Rey Mysterio. 8. Triple H. 9. Let's see here.
9.
Orton. Randy. We're going to go 4. Hulk Hogan. We're going number 2 with the Hulkster brother. Gunther. 6. Cena will go 3-ish. Oh, that's fucking 10. Kofi, number 5. Oh, well, shit. There's that. That's the last bite. Feed me more.
And Tim, I don't know if he has or not.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Tim. He said, has he been drinking?
Who knows?
Which is a very good question. Especially when you see that blind ranking, you're like, that's freaking insane.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Well, it sounded like he wasn't even really that happy that he was going to have to put Jeff at number 1 either.
Well, because technically Jeff wouldn't be at number 1.
But because you already filled in the other spot.
Well, yeah, blind ranking, but in ring ability, yeah, he's number 1. I mean, that guy, I'd go with talent in ring, Hardy 1, Kofi 2, and then, probably Orton, Triple H, Gunther, or actually Ray would probably be 3. And then Henry will still be 4, so or Henry would still be 10, I mean. But
so Tim is saying my dad was legally blind and he could have made a better list.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. That was the video, Tim. I'm glad you got to see it. There was that video. All right. So we are at that moment now. We'll kind of give our final thoughts for the evening. So, Big B, what final thoughts do you have for us?
Well, like I said, to open, the world's been in disarray last 40 to 60 some hours, 72 hours. With the news, it's always good to get up and talk wrestling, and some positive stuff. Wednesday, happy birthday goes out to Tim. He'll be celebrating his birthday on Wednesday, so happy early birthday to him. Check us out on C2C Rankum. We'll probably do a Wednesday show because I have stuff going on Tuesday, so check that out.
All right. And then, of course, Dragon Viper, what's your final thoughts for us for the evening?
Everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting, Tim. And just pretty much, I hope everybody has a good night and a good week this week.
All right, and then Mr. Crispy Bacon, how about you?
Yeah, thanks for everyone for watching and tuning in. We'll be back next week for Between the Ropes, so stay tuned.
Because we believe in Joe Henry.
Don't
right.
start it.
Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you next week for another episode of Between the Ropes. And don't forget to wave your hands from side to side and say, we believe in Joe Hendry. All right, so thank you so much, and we will see you next time for another episode of Between the Ropes.